What's good, Facebook family? What's good, YouTube family? Thank you guys for checking in with me live tonight. Tonight, we are going to be talking about how to buy assets as an independent contractor. So, for those of you who may be new to my channels, you might, who is this girl, Jay? Like, she's talking about events, she's talking about experiential marketing, becoming a brand ambassador. And I already have a nice following and a nice group, the EXP Elite on Facebook. So shouts out to my EXPs for joining us tonight. You guys go ahead, tap in. Let me know where you guys are checking in from. If you're currently on tour, what market you're in. And if you guys have any questions tonight, go ahead and drop them in the comments as well. But I want to go ahead and get started, give you guys this information, both here with my Facebook and YouTube family and on Instagram. So I'm going live simultaneously. So if you guys see my eyes move back and forth, just know I'm catering to all the audiences. But the information is going to be valuable and it's going to be something that you guys are going to be able to implement. Whether you work in the experiential marketing industry, whether you're looking to transition, maybe you are looking to quit your 9 to 5 and you're like, okay, I want to be my own boss. I want to be a contractor. That boss term has been going around a lot lately. But how do you go about doing it in a efficient way, in a way which makes sense, in a way in which you're able to build and create the assets that you really want? So that's what I'm going to be talking about tonight. If you guys have any questions or anything, go ahead and drop them here in the comments and let me know. But let's go ahead. That's better. All right, that looks better. But let me go ahead and get started. All right. So we're talking about building assets, but I want to first define tonight what an asset is. All right. An asset is a useful or valuable thing or quality, property or equipment, right? It can also be intellectual property. So, for example, assets can be real estate, a useful or valuable thing. It could be a person. Recently, Queen Elizabeth died. She was considered an asset to the royal family, right? And then you also have equipment. A lot of military equipment would be considered assets. And then your intellectual property. So anything that you learn, whether that be in school, whether that be from a course that you took, and you're able to apply that knowledge and make money with it, or build your own business with it, or build your own brand with it, that is also seen as an asset. So we have to start looking at, I know traditionally we looked at a lot of times assets as things that other businesses had and what we bought from a value perspective to those businesses and how they were able to benefit from us and see us as assets as their business. But we have to start shifting our mindset, especially post pandemic, when we've seen so many different businesses launch and so many people just stepping out of their comfort zone to start a new trade or get a new certification. Those things are also considered assets that you can then leverage to build your own business or to build your own brand, right? With regards to experiential marketing and executing events, you're serving as a brand ambassador, right? You are an ambassador of that brand. You are representing that brand. You are hired contractually for a certain amount of hours to perform a certain duty, interact and engage with consumers. And then from there, you are then hired, you are then paid for your time, right? That is you are an asset to Coca-Cola, to Chevy, to Whole Foods, to Nathan's Hot Dog, to whatever brand that you're representing at that time in experiential marketing. You are an asset to that company at the time, right? But on the flip side, you are also establishing yourself as a brand. I talk about it all the time. You are a BWAB. You are a brand within a brand. Even when you're working, whether you have a military job, whether you are on a corporate job, you are still a brand yourself, right? But you're also representing that brand. You're representing that corporate company. You're representing that agency. So we have to start shifting the mindset and seeing ourselves as assets and as brands to these different companies that we're working for. But outside of that, when you start contractually taking on jobs or taking on events, especially within the experiential marketing industry as a brand ambassador, and you're working a one-off event for 4 hours, making $25 for 4 hours on Friday, then you go to another job and another job and another job, that money starts to add up, right? And over time, you start seeing, man, I'm making more than I would make working a corporate job and less hours, but how can I leverage this, right, as an asset, and then in turn build my own business and build my own brand, right? And one way to do that, even if you're coming from a corporate job and you're shifting your mindset and starting your own business, you got to start looking at yourself not one for one thing as an asset, but as a business entity, right? And the one thing that I'm going to talk about right now, and the one thing that you need to do if you're going to establish yourself as an asset and see yourself from independent contractor status to employee is setting up that LLC, right? Now we can go into all the different S corp, C corp, partnership. We can go into all of that and get to all the details. But first things first, setting up your LLC and having a blanket and working within your business, creating that ecosystem. For one, it's going to get you in the habit of thinking of a business owner and an entrepreneur. That's the first thing it's going to do. Two, it's going to help you start implementing and putting in the necessary steps to make sure that from a tax perspective, you're protecting yourself, and from a business perspective, that you're always thinking as a business owner. When you're out here brand ambassadors executing events and you're doing this full time and you're making this your career and you have a steady inflow of money coming in, there's no reason why you can't go set up an LLC, work under your LLC, and then start leveraging your credit and getting business credit cards, right? And using business credit cards to then help with your expenses, to help with your fuel, to help with your mileage, to help with your off, like any admin things that you're doing for your business. All of these things allow you, when you're an LLC, to start having tax write-offs because now you're working as an employee of the business. So you guys got to start shifting the mindset, because once you become that independent contractor, it's now about, okay, how can I establish my LLC? What things can I start writing off under my LLC? How can I protect more of my money that I'm bringing in, so I'm not giving Uncle Sam all of my money as a solopreneur and not under an LLC, because you're going to be taxed more as an individual versus if you had a business. And I can speak from personal experience. T and I started back in 2011. Well, I started in 2009 in the industry, right? And at the time, I was still working my corporate job. So because I had a W-2 job I was being taxed, right? And I had taxes being taken out. Me working as an independent contractor and as a brand ambassador, it helped offset some of the money that I owed, because I had a good mix of 1099s and I had a good mix of jobs where I had W-2s or taxes being taken out. So my money was being offset and I didn't really have to pay Uncle Sam a lot, because my W-2 taxes where I was being taxed was making up for all the money I was making as a contractor, if that makes sense, right? But as I continued to shift and move from being a W-2 employee, I didn't have the taxes coming out every week on a paycheck. So then all that money that I was making 1099 as an independent contractor without a LLC, I was being taxed more on that money, because guess what? I couldn't write off as much because I didn't have a business. I wasn't subject to more of the tax benefits to having a business, because I was working as a solopreneur under my own name, under my social. I wasn't putting down an EIN, or I didn't have a blanket. I didn't have protection. So I say all that to say, once I got that LLC and I start leveraging that, I didn't know everything initially. I didn't know all how business credit cards worked or the benefits to it. But once I started leveraging that LLC and understood that, if I use my EIN instead of my personal social when I'm doing these 1099 jobs, then guess what? I now am helping to build my business, to show income on my business, which in the long term is going to help me if I ever want to use my business to start getting real estate, to start getting business funding, getting business lines of credit, to have access to business credit cards. I learned all this as I went. And I'm here to share with you guys, because I don't want you guys to go through years and years of working independent contractor jobs and not leveraging having a LLC. And you have to make sure that you do your LLC and you set up everything the correct way. But once I start leveraging that LLC and start being privy to the benefits of having an LLC, yes, when you file your taxes, you do have to file both your personal and your business taxes. They're two separate entities, so you have to file them as such, right? And there are a lot of different benefits to doing so, which I'm not going to go into because let me just say this, I am not a certified accountant, nor do I claim to be. So please consult with your tax preparer or your CPA regarding any of the information that you're hearing tonight. All right. This is just from my personal experience and the things that I have went through. Probably should have said that in the beginning, but I needed to go ahead and drop that. All right. So as I was saying, being able to start establishing that business allowed me to build business credit early. It allowed TNI to start showing income on the business side. It allowed us to start getting to the point where we were making enough money to then pay ourselves, W-2 ourselves as employees, as employees of our business, right? And then we had to start looking at, okay, do we become an S corp? Do we stay at LLC? What are the different tax percentages that are going to change? How all that is done, right? And that's where that CPA and that accountant comes in to help you really work through all of that. But as you continue to build that business, just like I said in the beginning, assets, properties, equipment, intellectual property. So we start saying, okay, we're trying to buy real estate. What are some things that I could buy that'll allow me to create residual income where I don't have to be there every day, but that I can then leverage and continue to grow as the years go on. And real estate was one of those things. Well, guess what? Tax purposes, in order to buy real estate, you're going to need 2 years of positive tax returns to qualify for real estate, right? Or at least 2 years where it's not a significant drop in your income. Writing off everything on your taxes, guys, while it may seem advantageous because you like, I want to get money back, is not always good, especially when you're trying to buy property. All right. I'm just going to drop that gem in there. So you got to really think about your goals, what you're trying to do. But real estate is one of those assets that if you leverage it correctly, it could definitely work for you. And being an independent contractor, you could definitely leverage real estate and build a real estate portfolio off your LLC if you do it correctly. Okay. So by us having the history, by us taking the time and working under our LLC and showing that our business was having positive cash flow from working in the experiential marketing industry, doing nothing else but working as brand ambassadors, as product specialists, and as tour managers, CDLA managers, just from experiential marketing. I don't want you guys on my EXPs on here to think that, oh no, Jay had another side job. That's why she was able to do. No, it was all from being an experiential marketing professional and executing events full time. All right. From making that money, from bringing in that income, from having a great tax preparer on our team, which then became our real estate. She moved to real estate from taking the advice that she told us early on, where she said, okay, you guys need to go ahead and start paying yourself. If you guys want to buy real estate, instead of thinking that you want to make all that money and you don't want to pay Uncle Sam, start paying yourself as a W-2 of your business. So that way you're showing income on the personal side, but you are also able to leverage that and write that off on the business side. But then your business is still showing a positive cash flow as well. Bing, light bulb went off, right? From that, we have been able to leverage our business to buy real estate. Just bought a property in June, right? Property was over $300,000. Didn't use our personal taxes at all. In fact, we only used 1 year of business taxes to purchase that property. 1 year of business taxes. But we were only able to use that 1 year business taxes because before that, we established a business in 2013. We had what is that, y'all? Help me out with the math, y'all. 9 years? 9 years of business taxes that preceded that 1 year to show. And again, they only go back 2 years. But we had the positive flow of a business taxes. Some years were good, some years were not good. We didn't always have a positive every year, but we did show income on the business, right? That's the most important thing, that you show income. But because we had that history with a positive cash flow with business, we were able to obtain that property just by using 1 year of tax returns for the business. And that's very important for all of my EXPs out there. You guys executing events, and you guys are like, okay, you know what? I'm bringing in all this money. It's going into my personal account. First things first, EXPs and my contractors, or even my people transitioning out of the 9 to 5 world. Get you guys two separate business accounts. I mean, two separate accounts, one for your business and one for your personal, once you set that LLC up. And within that business account, have a account where all your receivables, so any money that you make for your business comes in, and an account like a savings business account where all your expenses come out. You always want to show positive cash flow into your business accounts. All right. So these are just some things and some tips. And I know I'm giving you guys a lot off the dome, but I just want to make sure that I'm giving you guys valuable insight and feedback to how you, as an independent contractor, right, can leverage starting a business and working, whether you as a EXP, whether you are on tour, that money that's coming into your personal account, set up a business account and start treating yourself as a business owner. You're working for these brands, you're executing these events for these brands, you're being a part of all these experiences, and you're giving your time and your energy. The least you can do is establish yourself as a BWAB, as a brand within a brand, and set up your LLCs and use that and leverage that business credit, lines of credit, to then pursue your business once you decide to leave the industry, if that's something that you choose to do later on. At least you have another avenue, another revenue stream, and another business that you can now leverage. So if you decide, you know what, I don't want to do event marketing anymore, I don't want to be at my 9 to 5 no more, now you have an established business that you can then start using and generating additional income from. So the funding makes becoming a independent contractor, and more importantly, becoming a business owner. The business funding that you'll be privy to is just beneficial in itself. Also, making sure that you're protecting your intellectual property and you're protecting yourself as the asset to that brand that you're building. All of this matters. So as you continue to go through my EXPs, as you continue to go through the industry, and as you guys continue to work events, make sure that you're asking these agencies, okay, are you going to pay me as a 1099 or as a W-2 employee? If they have the option, it's really going to be up to you. If you work a 9 to 5, it may not make sense to be taxed twice as a W-2 because you're already being taxed on your 9 to 5. If you don't have a 9 to 5 and you have a lot of 1099s already, it may be more advantageous for you to go ahead and be taxed as a 1099 and set up an LLC and work under your business, right? So ask these companies, how do they pay you? Also find out, based on your state, what are the different stipulations for setting up a LLC? How much time does it take? What documentation is going to be needed to set up that LLC? I know a lot of states, especially here in Georgia, post-pandemic, everybody done been jumping on the LLC tip. They've made it a little bit harder to go in and apply for your LLC, and it's a little bit of a waiting period right now because they have to do additional verification. So these are some things that you definitely have to keep in mind as you are setting up your LLCs and you guys are looking to establish yourself as a brand. Also, looking at your personal credit as well. A lot of people don't realize, and let me just wave to the folks on IG, that your personal credit matters as well. Because when you are first establishing your business and you're setting up your LLCs, right, and you're going into these banks and you're asking for business credit cards and checking accounts and things of that sort, especially on the business credit card side, they're going to be using your personal credit as the guarantor to establish that business credit card. Now, none of the charges that you make on your business will reflect on your personal credit, but just to be able to obtain that card, they're going to need some collateral. They're going to need some skin in the game. So your personal social is going to be used to be able to do that. So just make sure you keep in mind, make sure you guys are being responsible with your credit. A lot of people like to have the debate whether cash or credit is king. Credit is king all day, because having good credit allows you get in the doors and get things and qualify for things that cash wouldn't allow you to be able to do. All right. And oftentimes when you come into place with a large wad of cash, they're gonna want to know where it came from. Is it legitimate? And when you still need to see your credit to make sure you ain't doing no illegal activity. So at the end of the day, make sure you guys are really being responsible with your credit, but more importantly, you are leveraging your personal credit to assist you with building your business. All right. I'm not saying to go out here willy-nilly and just be running your credit crazy. No, because inquiries can add up, right? But just make sure you are being responsible with how you are leveraging your credit as well, because it can help you initially when you are starting your LLC and you're looking to build your business. And the last thing I want to leave you guys with is, again, getting out of the mindset of using your debit cards, right? And using um, not using the credit cards to your advantage. So once you guys start setting up that LLC and you're establishing your business, get in the habit of using those credit cards to help you build the business credit, right? To help you, because as you use those business credit cards and you pay those business credit cards on time, those report to your business credit as well. So make sure you guys are just getting in the habit of not always, cash is good and you should always have cash on hand. But OPM, using other people's money to your advantage as a way to build your business credit and to help establish a positive business credit history is so important. All right. So I know I gave you guys a lot tonight. If you guys have any questions, let me know. But setting up, and I forgot, oh yeah, but buying assets, right, as an independent contractor, how to do so is going to start with you first establishing yourself as a business entity, right? And later are the days of just using your personal credit and your personal name to do everything. Yes, initially, like I said, you're going to have to start off and you're going to have to do that. But over time, if you guys want to be able to accumulate assets, if you want to be able to use your intellectual property as a way to market yourself or sell your products or sell your services, if you want to be able to one day hire people, help people, employ people, if you have dreams of starting your own brand, right? You got to start at the foundational level. And at the foundational level, you got to make sure that all your paperwork, all your business is in order, and your business is set up properly to be successful, right? I know we can get to the scaling and the systems and email funnels and all of that. That comes with the territory. But you first got to start off entry level with having your business and your finances in order. All right. But buying those assets, whether it be real estate, whether it be other businesses, whether it be starting your own business, whether it be buying equipment for your business, you can do it as an independent contractor. I am a living proof and testament that it can be done. T and I currently have 4 real estate investment properties as independent contractors. All three, well, three, no, all of them. No, I'm gonna say three. 3 of the 4 were bought as brand ambassadors and as tour managers, right? The last one we just bought recently, and that was bought majority with the money that we used from the trucking company. All right. But my story and my ability to be smart financially and start the LLC is a testament to the fact that it can't be done. All right. You guys just got to change the mindset and make sure that you are putting parameters and stipulations in place to be able to do so. All right. If you guys found this information helpful, go ahead and give me some thumbs in the comments. If you guys got any questions, let me know. I definitely just want to come on live and just start giving you guys more information that you're going to be able to use and leverage. But also, if you're looking to begin a career as a brand ambassador, right? This is the place you want to be, because I'm going to teach you step by step how to be able to excel as a brand ambassador. I know here in the EXP Elite group on Facebook, we have so many resources, so many different EXPs who are in the industry currently, who have been able to start as a brand ambassador, start at the brand ambassador level, excuse me, and move into tour management, having their own businesses, even pivot out of the industry, becoming real estate agents, um, and having multiple businesses, right? So when you move into this area of experiential marketing and executing events, it teaches you how to, for one, multitask. Two, time management that'll be on point. But three, it gets you in the mindset of always looking at different ways to make money. So whether you realize it or not, you are establishing yourself as a brand, right? And as a business. It's just now up to you from the legal perspective and the business perspective to make sure that you are maximizing it and making this industry work for you. All right. This is Jay, your experiential marketing coach, checking in with you guys live. Enjoy the rest of your night. You guys have a good weekend. If you're out executing events, make sure you guys stay safe. And also to all of my college students, my high school graduates, you guys are looking for a way to begin a career in the industry. Make sure you guys are tapping in with me on IG at jdavis.media and on TikTok as well. Later. All right, y'all. Let's see what's going on. All right, y'all. There we go. Y'all have a good night. All right, later.